and welcome to Tune Into Wellness Today. My name is Lisa Marie Tersini. I am a certified holistic health counselor, a nutrition educator and coach, the founder and owner of a company called Inspiring Wellness Solutions, and the host of today's show, Tune Into Wellness Today. If you've been watching this show, you realize that what we do is we introduce to you a myriad of natural wellness practitioners who are available to you in the Capital District and surrounding areas. What we do is we speak to these practitioners about their modalities, services, and products and how they can help you heal, be well, and be happy. I'm excited to tell you that I have three wonderful women on today's show. And the first woman I am offering to you is Nina Gridley from Full Spectrum Healing, located in Saratoga Springs, New York. Nina is a Bach flower, Nini is a Bach flower educator and consultant, as well as a yoga instructor. She teaches yoga workshops at the Kripalu Center in Lenox, Massachusetts, as well as the Mandeli Center in Saratoga Springs. Welcome, Nini.
Hi, nice to be here. Yeah, it's Nini. I'm sorry, it's difficult.
Thank you for being here. It shouldn't be that difficult, Nini. Sorry about that. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well.
Great.
Yes. I'm happy to be here to talk about the Bach flower essences.
And I'm so excited to learn, for the last several years I've wanted to learn more about Bach flower remedies, how they originated and how they help us. So I'm excited to have you here. And I understand that Bach flowers were originated from a Dr. Edward Bach around 1930 or so.
1930 in England. And he was a physician, a homeopath, and a bacteriologist who had sort of an awakening and discovered that the dew on flowers had medicinal properties. So he changed his practice completely, moved to the country, and developed 38 natural remedies using flowers and plant materials that is serving as emotional homeopathy for us today. It's used in 66 countries all over the world, and we have them here.
And that's 38 remedies is what he
38
uses?
remedies.
And did he, I thought that I had read somewhere along the way, please correct me if I'm wrong, that he categorized that in like 7 emotional components.
Yes, there's some categories. So for instance, for fear, there are 5 essences for fear. What he also offered us was the model of how to blend them. So I brought some Rescue Remedy, and Rescue Remedy is a blend of 5 flowers that's used for stress or trauma. It's our most popular product. But when you come to a consultant and you have a consultation with someone who knows all 38, we blend that individual remedy for you depending upon what your needs are. So that uses the full 38.
That is great, and that's exactly what I wanted to ask you. If I were to come to you, or a client were to come to you, how do you analyze what it is that he or she might need in regard to which remedy they would need?
So we would talk. And I would ask you how you feel. And you would tell me honestly what feelings you're having, and I would listen very carefully and choose the 6 flowers that would be appropriate, whether you were feeling overwhelmed or lack of confidence, or whether you were feeling fearful or loss, if you'd had grief or something like discouragement. There's a full range of emotions, and then we make a combination of that 6 that becomes your personal formula. That personal formula goes in a bottle like this. We blend it for you. But what's so beautiful about this is once you learn about them, you could go to the health food store and buy the flowers yourself that would be part of your formula. So Dr. Bach wanted these in everybody's medicine cabinet. When someone's feeling overwhelmed, they should have elm on hand so that they can just put 2 drops in their water.
So local health food stores actually sell flowers?
They sell the flower essences. So all 38 are available in local places like Whole Foods or Four Seasons or Healthy Living Market, so that this is really something that people could have for their children or their pets. We even have a formula for pets which is different from Rescue Remedy because it has glycerin in it. So the children's formula and the pet formula don't have any alcohol because Dr. Bach used brandy when he made them to purify the remedy.
Okay. Okay. So these flowers are blended depending on what someone needs.
Yeah.
Then correct. Can you give me the name of a few types of flowers that you're using? Are there specific names that people would say?
They're named for the Latin names of the flowers.
Okay.
So if you're feeling elm, overwhelm, you'd take elm and you would just put 2 drops in any water bottle at the time that you're feeling that emotion. So that could work during the day at a specific time. If you were feeling lack of confidence at work, you would take large. Large is the flower that's for lack of confidence. So you could self-diagnose and take them. When I make a formula, we put it in a dosage bottle, and the prescription is to take that flower blend 4 drops 4 times a day over the next 2 weeks. Then come back and get a second bottle. We check in. So that usually the consultation is 2 brief visits, maybe an hour and then about 15 minutes, so that then we can determine if the flower essence is working, if anything new has come up. Because essentially what Dr. Bach is saying is that the onion is peeling. You know, the first level is overwhelm, but you're just overwhelmed because actually you're terrified. And if you've had some kind of trauma, or if you've had some kind of bad experience or an illness, this is the way the emotional body can be used to help you heal.
That is very beautiful. Now, are you ingesting this directly from the bottle or in the water? Are you putting drops in water? How is someone taking it?
You take it by mouth,
Okay.
or you can put it in bath water, or you can put it on your skin. We put it in water because then you sip more times. If I took 4 drops from this bottle right now, it would taste relatively strong, but I would get 1 dose. So you can put 4 drops of Rescue Remedy into a water bottle and take it on the train when you're nervous about traveling. Or it's wonderful for jet lag, which is great because it helps your body overcome the trauma of moving through different time zones. So jet lag can be eliminated.
Can you give me, or would you give me, an example of someone that you've worked with, a client of yours, who started using your products and they received a great benefit? And you tell me what that benefit is.
Oh, there have been so many. It's difficult to say. I've had a private practice since 2002 with the Bach flower essences, and I've used them personally since 1990. There's a flower called walnut. Walnut is used for change, and if you think about a walnut shell, it's protection from outside influences. So you can keep your pure true self intact while you're going through changes. So if that's puberty or menopause, or that's moving, or that's changing jobs, walnut is very, very helpful. Just 2 drops in a water bottle or a glass of water to help people maintain their sense of self while the situations are changing. I've used walnut with lots of people because many people come to me in transition. Oftentimes when my yoga students will come and they'll be in a situation where they're using yoga as a method of healing, so that they'll be, I had a woman who got pregnant and who wanted very desperately to have children, and she used walnut to help her get through the transitions of her body changing. They're very simple, very gentle, and
all natural.
All natural, completely all natural. And if you took the wrong remedy, it wouldn't hurt you. It's a vibrational medicine, so that you're taking something that's helping you come back to harmony with yourself.
How about, how do these remedies work with those that are suffering from ADD or on autism spectrum?
Yeah.
Are we seeing studies with the Bach flower remedies and people who have these
I think the studies are anecdotal. I think that there are many. One of the flowers in Rescue Remedy is clematis. Clematis is to help you come down and in. So in a panicky situation where you think you might flip out, you might lose control, Rescue Remedy is the formula that helps you not lose control, brings your mind back down into your body so you can make a decision. So children with ADHD who might be up and out and daydreamy, there's a formula called Children's Daydreaming, which uses clematis to help children bring their focus back in to their bodies so that they can focus on their schoolwork. Dr. Bach used them to preempt illness. All of his clients were actually ill, and he would sense their emotional level, and it didn't matter what you had physically, he was treating the emotional body, and that's really what gift he gave to us, is to help us see that there were ways to preempt illness so that the symptom didn't have to become physical.
Did he not believe that emotional traumas were the cause of physical illnesses? Was that one of his thought processes?
I do believe he believed that, though I can't quote him for saying that. No, I do believe as a yoga teacher that we have koshas around us, and our spirit's going to try and get in touch with our body and help us develop our true virtues and our true self. And if you have emotional stress, it can be debilitating to that. And if the symptom becomes physical, it's even harder to heal.
Absolutely. Now, you are a yoga workshop
Leader.
instructor,
Yeah.
leader. Tell us a little bit about that.
I've worked with Anadea Judith for many years. I teach workshops on the chakras, and I teach something called Full Spectrum Healing, which is a series of 9 weeks. We have an introductory workshop. We do 7 chakras 1 week at a time, and then we close with a celebration. So what I find is the Bach flower essences are helping people as they're evolving, as people are transforming. If they come up against something that's some kind of a projection or some kind of a past trauma that's coming up to surface, the Bach flowers can help them move through that much more easily. So I'm always helping people heal, whether that's yoga or teaching a workshop or doing a new moon meditation. And the Bach flowers are the tools that I use to help people.
That is fabulous. Now, you've given me so many benefits to Bach flower remedies. Anything else that you want to tell us about them?
I think that it's important to know that they're used worldwide, and that people, the materials are translated into many languages, so that when you go to your health food store and you see the Bach flowers, know that that's an opportunity to connect with people all over the world who are trying to balance their emotions. And when we think about how stressful the world can be, and whether that's road rage or whether that's something you hear on the news, this can help all of us. We want to beflower the world. And Dr. Bach was the originator of these. There are many other systems, there's flower essences in other countries, but Dr. Bach was the original, and we really owe him a great service.
And you are certified, correct, to be able to?
Absolutely, internationally registered and certified.
Very
yes.
good. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you so much for asking me to come.
You're very welcome. If you would like more information about Nini Gridley and the work she does, go online to ninigridley.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
And my second guest today is Angela Kaufman from Moonlight Terra LLC. Angela is a clinical social worker, a certified psychic medium, who combines her clinical self-improvement background with her psychic intuitive abilities and her relationship coaching skills. Welcome, Angela.
Hi, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for being here. I am so intrigued about how you merge these three aspects into one to help women and help women have better relationships. So could you tell us, or would you tell us please, how you go about doing that?
Yes, it's I found that it was very much in my nature that when I was just doing psychic readings originally, I couldn't help myself from bringing into the picture my skills from the social work background, because I can answer someone's question, but if they're struggling as a healer, I want to bring together everything I can to help them reach their goal. So my perspective is very different from other psychics. Yes, I'm there to give you clarity and guidance and answer your question, but I don't believe in this, will this happen, won't it happen, black and white type of future. I believe in, okay, this is your goal, this is the direction you're headed, but if you want to improve your chances of getting there, here are some additional tools. So what I'll do is we'll start with a reading, and in the process of doing a reading, it's kind of the opposite of the way most healing consultations first happen. I first don't ask you to give me information. I first tune into your energy, tune into my guides and spirit, and I give you the impressions I'm getting that give me a sense of what's been going on. Why are you having difficulties in your relationships? What are the obstacles? And then after that's kind of out on the table, we work together to look at, okay, what are the tools and strategies that you can use to work through these obstacles and find the type of relationship that you want and that you deserve. And then if people want to get beyond the reading, they can become a private client. I work with women who are successful at life but struggling in relationships, and we work through a series of readings. I give them journaling exercises. I have a series of meditations that help them shift and change their energy. And over the course of time, they are going through a transformation, and it's great because it culminates in a personalized ritual that they conduct in private that helps align their transformation with their attitudes, beliefs, behaviors, with the transformation to their actual energy.
Now, when you speak about relationships, there are many types of relationships, mother-daughter relationships, parental, sibling, but you're specifically, for the most part, speaking about someone who wants to have a partnership relationship with someone?
Well, yes and no, because here's the beautiful thing about the way this system works. People will come to me because, for the most part, you're right, there's so many different types of relationships, but for most women, the point of desire is, I want the romantic relationship. And so we don't always realize that what's going off in romantic relationships, I won't say wrong, but where we're going astray in romantic relationships is also a mirror of what's going on in all of our relationships. So by working with me, one of the benefits is that all of your relationships will improve, because we don't just focus on, and that's another difference between just the psychic reading, we don't just focus on where is he, when will I meet him, how do I find him. No, we're going to focus on you, your communication, your roles that you play in different relationships, how you are attracting people in any different relationship. And so a byproduct is all of your relationships are going to improve. In fact, a woman that I just am winding down working with now, her initial goal was, yes, she wanted to have a romantic partner, but she also wanted to improve some communication and some other issues. And not even halfway through the program, there was a very drastic turnaround just in her style of communication, in her ability to set boundaries, and it was having a positive impact on her work relationships, her family relationships, and giving her greater confidence, so that whether she ends up with the specific person that she has in mind or not, all of her relationships are improved. And you can't help but attract a positive romantic relationship that way.
Their energy level has been increased to,
Yes.
to a healthier energy level, I surmise, and so that's going to attract more positive people into your life. And when we speak about romantic relationships, I think it's key, I'd like the audience to really understand that we can love many people. When we're
Right.
talking about a healthy
Yes.
romantic relationship versus an unhealthy or toxic one, and that's I'm sure one of the goals is that you're helping people with, or women with specifically, is to
Yes.
have that type of a good quality type of relationship. Now you can, with your skills and your background, both as a clinical social worker and as a psychic medium, probably, as you said, give someone a reading and, I hate to say solve, but to solve their problem. But you're going a step further. And tell me why you chose to do that versus solving their problem.
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, what I found frustrating in my early work was that women would come to me for love or relationship readings, and giving them the answer was not enough. And you would think like, well, hey, if the psychic gives me the answer, doesn't that fix the problem? But it didn't, because, and it would end up frustrating me with, this whole process and thinking, okay, well, gee, I'm telling these women what to do, but they don't get it. And so, as is characteristic of all relationship, when I'm feeling frustrated with somebody else, I have to look at what I'm bringing to the table. And I realized it was my failure to provide the tools, because I can give you the answer, but that doesn't give you the tools. Okay, here's the answer, have a nice day. That's not changing your life. And I had to realize that where I'm giving women these tools in the course of maybe an hour-long reading or a 30-minute reading, that's not empowering them and showing them step by step how to make the changes they want in their life. So what was happening is, somebody would come to me, when am I going to meet someone? Is there ever going to be another relationship? Yes, you're going to meet someone. And then 3 months later, they'd be back. Well, okay, I met someone, but he's doing this and he's doing that and he's driving me crazy and he won't do this and he won't do that. So here we are revisiting the same issues, because the real question is not, am I going to meet someone? There are millions of people in this world.
Correct.
You will meet someone. The question is, then what? Because it's not about, is this person the one for me necessarily? It's about, how do I work in this relationship to get the results that I really want, and to not, the really big thing is not repeating the same things that didn't work the last 5 times.
So, and that's where the relationship coaching comes
Yes.
in. And then the clinical self-improvement piece, you add aspects from your training as a clinical social worker on helping women to take a look at themselves from a myriad of levels, is what it sounds like.
Yes.
Can you give me, or would you give me an example of someone that you've worked with in which your coaching and work has really helped her improve her life? Without giving me a name specifically.
Sure, and yes, because the work that I do I treat it as confidential, just like in the social work world would be. So yeah, I can give a couple of examples. One that has already resulted in an actual romantic relationship, and one that hasn't, but is still, there's been some beneficial improvements. So the woman who is now in a relationship where she's feeling more fulfilled than she has in the past, I worked with her for a while. Actually, before I had a systemized coaching practice, I was just doing this kind of naturally through the course of our sessions. And this woman, like many women, fell into this pattern of behavior in relationships where she struggled to commit. She always had, anytime I would do a reading for her, it was always, well, which one of these 2 guys? So she was having an affair with Justin, and that's just in case. Just in case this one doesn't work out, I've got this guy over here. And so through a couple of readings, we worked together to get to the bottom of, why is she in this romantic relationship with just in case? Why is she struggling to really just sit with herself and be happy in her own skin to the point where she can commit to one person and not have that constant fear, I need to have this other person waiting in the wings. So it took, it took a couple months, and of course when people come to a reading, usually they want to know, okay, tell me the answer so I can have it tomorrow. But she was great. She worked with it. She did some of the practices that I recommended. She was patient with the process and really let herself grow and transform. And she got to the point where she realized, you know what, I keep asking about these two people. I don't really like either of them. So she gave herself
some space.
A great awakening. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So empowering women is obviously a huge benefit of your program.
Yes.
Give me 2 more benefits, if you can, of
Sure.
what someone might achieve by working with you.
Okay, so the empowerment is big. The other improvement that women will gain is an increased awareness that helps them to make sense of where things have, I don't like to say gone wrong, but where things have not been satisfying in the past. So, for example, a woman that I've been working with was able to come to the realization that even in past relationships that could have been very satisfying and happy, there was a certain role that she would always fall into that would keep herself at a distance. So we worked together. We pulled in all different types of tools, from intuition to astrology to cognitive behavioral therapy, which works on challenging core beliefs, and meditation, all these different things. And she was able to realize that where this came from was her own fear of being the vulnerable one, even for a little while in relationships. And so through the process, an added benefit is that she was able to reconnect with a more sensitive, intuitive, creative side of herself. And now she's getting into these new interests. She's pursuing new hobbies that are playful and fun, and not just like always, business, focused on, well, is this going to make money? No, if not, it's not valuable. So this whole other part of her world has, been awakened.
Awakened, right. Beautiful. I love the work that you are doing.
Well, thank you.
Anything else you'd like to throw out there for the audience to know?
Well, if you would like to visit my website, if you're a single independent professional woman who wants to understand some of the common mistakes that us women make we women make in relationships, I have a free audio recording on my website, the 3 biggest reasons single independent professional women are not finding the love they deserve. And you can listen to that and get some great techniques and tips there and start making your transformation today.
Wonderful. Angela, thank you so much for the work you do.
Well, thank you.
Greatly appreciate it. It's very exciting. If you would like more information about Angela and the work she does, go online to moonlighttarotllc.com. Thank you. And my third guest today is Leah Bowden from Lightspeak Transformational Arts. Leah is a published essayist and poet, a guided meditation and visual guided meditation specialist, as well as a communications facilitator. Welcome, Leah.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be on this show.
Thank you for being here. I'm so glad you're here.
My
It's
pleasure.
a great opportunity to meet you. So, transformational arts. We're going to speak specifically today about a product or program you call Energy Portraits.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about what that is.
Okay. A long time ago in the 90s, I was receiving treatments from a very gifted energy facilitator. And every time he worked on me, he would say, "Do you see this beautiful seafoam green coming out of your heart?" And I would say, "No, I don't see that stuff." Well, long time, worked with him, and I realized I could see it. And so one day he had me sit in front of him and describe what I saw. And I realized I don't see like here or that, but if there were a color, I thought, what would it be? And so I allowed myself, and this is the key, I allowed myself to believe, well, if there were a color, what would it be? And I said, well, if there were a color, it would be pink. I said pink. And so I described his whole being. And I realized that I could see the flow of energy through his whole being. And then I also teach people how to do this. Well, I began doing these, and I call them energy portraits because to me it was really about the flow of energy. Since then, I have found that when I do an energy portrait, I'm really stepping into someone's multidimensional field. and I'm not only getting the physical feel, because I also feel it kinetically, and the visual flow, and I see the colors of the crown chakra, the arms, the hands, the feet, the knees, everything, but I'm also hearing the songs and the sounds and the chants of various multidimensional aspects of the soul, because everyone who watches this show knows that we're not just in our skin bags.
Right.
You know, we exist all over the place. And so sometimes when I do a portrait, I'll see silver or gold or other metallic colors, and I know that those are keys that tell me, oh, this bit of information is coming from an off-planet part of this soul's manifestation that's relevant to what's going on right now for my client.
Okay, so we could say that this is a part of a person's soul's mission.
Absolutely.
Okay, and as you just said, what's going on with that person right now. So if you were to do multiple energy portraits for a person over time, we may see different colors.
Different
Is that
colors,
right?
different patterns.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. And how are you using these portraits? And anyone who's watching this episode today is going to see an example of an energy portrait
Okay,
on the
good.
screen. Very vibrant, very colorful, very beautiful.
Right.
Let me ask you this. If someone is in an ill state
Mhm.
or in a depressive state, since it's the soul's mission, are we still going to see vibrant colors?
Yes.
Or we are, okay.
Yes. That's what's so exciting.
Okay.
Sometimes people will say, oh, I don't want you to do my portrait. I'm feeling so depressed. Or I'm really sick. And you know what? I don't see the depression. I don't see the illness. Apparently, I have a focus mechanism in my own perceptual pattern that goes right to the level of being where we are the authentically radiant soul manifestation of the divine.
The spiritual being. That's beautiful. How do you utilize these portraits then to help people heal? I mean, they're not just something you're going to put on the wall and say, well, that's my soul's mission portrait, right? And people are using these to heal.
They use them. This is what I've heard from my clients. Some people use them right in their creativity rooms, if they are artists or writers or yoga practitioners or whatever they do. They use them as inspiration. They look at them and they feel a connection. And they say, well, look at me. I'm not just a dull lump. I am beautiful. And so they look at them and they find inspiration. The most fascinating thing I ever experienced with these, because remember, when I started, I just thought it was art. I thought I was just another kind of portrait. Two of my clients, a husband and wife in Ohio, took their finished energy portraits to their acupuncturist. And the acupuncturist looked at the energy portraits, and sometimes when I'm receiving the flow, I'll see that, oh, there's a little jog here at the knee, or there's something that comes out of the elbow, and I just record it. I put it down. The acupuncturist looked at their portraits and said, these describe exactly where I was planning on putting the needles today. Who knew? I make no claims, but I was fascinated to learn that. I also give people a CD of the transmissions that I get of souls and the chants, not souls, the songs from the soul,
okay.
and the chants and guidance that I get from the person's multidimensional aspects. And many people have told me that they listen to those over and over and over. And I had one client tell me that she needed me to do another energy portrait because she had worn out the CD.
I would bet you that CD that you created, which is based on their energy,
Yeah.
correct, it would resonate with that person
Yes,
in a
sure.
very calming and healing way.
And energizing. And when I'm doing, I mean, you and I are sitting here, and if I'm looking from my highest point of perception, which is where I create these from, and I'm looking at you, you're not only feeling the vibration of my own higher self looking at you, but when I receive a song, I open my heart and I sing to that chakra. I keep a box of Kleenex next to my client chair because people do resonate in very emotional ways.
That's
Yeah.
very healing. Absolutely. You're pulling
Yeah.
out a lot of pain as
Yeah.
you go through that
Right.
process. It's
Right.
beautiful. Leah, past lives. You sometimes can see some past life.
What I see are, sometimes I see movies, like I'll look at your crown chakra, and before I see the colors that I actually end up painting, I might see a picture of someone in a sled being drawn by 3 horses, and a forest behind you, and the person in the sled is a little girl, and she has a big dog by her. So I'll describe that movie in my head. If it connects with the person, fine. If not, no. I don't know if that's a past life or a representation of your current life. And besides which, I get more juice from the concept that life is one eternal moment, and that all of our possible lifetime manifestations are happening at the same time. We think of it as past, present, and future because we are so limited in our physical beings that being a linear description sometimes helps more. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I get these pictures of someone that I would look at and say, oh, this is someone from ancient Egypt, or this is someone from a pre-European contact Native American experience, or something like that. But I don't tell anyone, oh, this is definitely your past life.
I understand.
I just keep on reporting back the images that I'm getting.
When you work with someone, how long does it take for you to create a portrait?
Well, it takes anywhere from about an hour to sometimes 2 hours.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then before I give them the CD, I actually edit the CD so that the CD is sometimes shorter, because often I'll be painting and just drawing, and there's nothing there but the scratch, scratch, scratch of the pastel on the paper.
So give me some benefits. Give us all some benefits of what people have received once they've received one of these portraits from you.
What people tell me they have benefited from is an increased sense of their own wholeness. That people want better relationships, they want a better job, they want to think better of themselves, they want to know what path they should be on. And I don't know before I do the portrait and come to the place in the portrait where I'm talking about the path that they're on. I don't know what's going to happen, but they tell me that, thank you. This has helped me feel better about who I am right now. I have a better sense of my strengths. And sometimes I'll be looking at someone and I'll see something in the solar plexus or the heart, and I'll sing to that, or a story will come out, and people will tell me, you didn't know this, but I used to have an uncle who would hug me and put me on his knee, and I always felt better. And so just knowing about that uncle who maybe died when she was 4 years old, just that connection can help. Mm-hmm. So what people receive is a greater sense of wholeness and a connection to their own authentic radiance, and that is why I do them. I know that the world would be a better place if we all felt comfortable with who we really are. And who we really are is a much better person than the person we think we may have grown up to be.
That is absolutely right, and that is so beautiful. I really love the work you do. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for letting me tell you about it.
It's so exciting. It's so
Thanks.
exciting. If you would like more information about Leah Bowden and the work she does, go online to lightspeak.com. Thank you for watching another episode of Tune In to Wellness Today. I truly hope you found my guests to be informative and inspirational. I encourage you to reach out to each one of them with any questions you might have about their services, modalities, or products. And I encourage you to reach out to me, Lisa Marie, with any questions you have about health and wellness. You'll be watching this show right before the Christmas holidays, so I want to make sure I wish you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, and a marvelous New Year. Until next year, be well, be happy, and be alive.